Hello, guys. So, welcome back to the live session. This is your host, Jess Karak, with another Sunday live session, the usual 1 hour session. In this session, you can ask me about the study in the UK, immigration to the UK, civil engineering, obviously my subject. So, we're going to talk about the civil engineering, how you can settle in, how you can join the universities here, how you can find the jobs here, and finally, yeah, basically the final settlement, which is the ultimate goal for everyone to come to the UK. So we're going to talk about all these subjects about civil engineering, but obviously if you got any question, just the normal stuff. Yeah, I have added my WhatsApp number in the live chat there, so you can call me on that number if you want to ask any questions. Also, you can type in your questions there as well. Obviously, you get priority if you call me. I love to talk to yourself, so that's the reason why I share my number there, so we can have a chat about any questions you might have. Uh, if you got a specific sort of immigration questions, so obviously I won't be able to answer specific to your case. The reason being, I'm not an immigration lawyer, so I can guide you in the right direction, but obviously that's not my specialty. But being here and going through all the bits and bobs about the immigration, so I can give you some guidelines, but not the final ultimate sort of solution for your case. But in terms of civil engineering, obviously that's my work, that's my job, and that's what I tend to share basically the most of the knowledge about civil engineering here. So if you got specific question about choosing the subject at the university, about the job, how you can find the job here, how you can start your career here, so this is the platform for yourself. And also actually this week lots of questions that came about the when to start actually looking for engineering jobs, especially the civil engineering jobs here. Obviously my majority of the subscription is from the engineering community, which I'm glad. I have a majority of the community from the same background. So they asked me the questions about the when to start when you come here for the studies. When is the best time actually to start your studies? When to start applying for the jobs, and what are the tactics or what are the strategy you can employ actually to get started here as a professional. So I'm going to talk about this one, but in the meantime, you can keep sending your questions there in the live chat. And as said, I mean, you can call me on that number as well, and I'll jump on those questions. But let's talk about the really top question equity for this week was about when to start actually applying for the job when you come here for studies. So I generally say, I mean, the sooner the better. Actually, don't let it go to the last minute. I mean, that would be ideal. So you should start. Obviously, I mean, if for instance, if you're choosing MSc in civil engineering here in the UK, so the sooner you get to know basically the system. Obviously, you need to adjust yourself in the university, and you need to understand the culture, how you can apply, how the process works. So to understand that whole process, you need to start quite early. Obviously, it won't be immediate. Like, I mean, you start uploading your CV somewhere, and you will get basically a call and interview straight away. No, that isn't. That won't be the case for sure. So it's the reason I'm saying you need to start early is you need to understand the culture, you need to understand the process, and that's where you will get used to the system when you start quite early. And by the time you complete your degree or by completion of your course, you would have lots of experience how to deal with actually with the recruitment agencies, with the employer, with the different the platforms. So that's the reason why I said you need to start quite early. And generally I say by the second semester, the least I would say, when you start like a MSc second semester, that's where you should be really active, start looking into the jobs. And for to apply on that's a different process, basically how you apply, how you can basically go about the job searching, which I'm going to touch upon here. But actually about I generally say the second semester, that's where you should be actively looking for the jobs, because 6 months is not enough actually, especially if you're going into the graduate sort of schemes. Obviously that will be the intention after completion of studies. Generally the big companies, the big players here, the consultant, the contractor, they need quite a big span actually. They start recruiting and looking for the application quite early as well. So that's where I said you need to make sure you don't miss that opportunities. And for your information actually, if you are actually started already studying here in the UK, for those, yeah, or the graduates here, for your information, make sure you check the AECOM website, because they have literally started the graduate sort of schemes. Lots of opportunities there. AECOM, one of the best actually consultant in the world. I work personally there as well. So for your information, if you're already studying or literally started your study here, especially in the engineering field, it's not restricted to civil engineering. I mean, whatever field you go, electrical, mechanical, yeah, environmental, or whatever field it is actually. So you can go on their website, AECOM website. Actually, I've seen the advert last week, and they are recruiting actually for the graduate scheme. So don't miss out that opportunity as well. And as I said, I mean, this will take quite a bit of a time actually to go through the whole process of graduate scheme. So this is a really golden opportunity, especially for those they are already here in the UK, and they will start looking after completion of your study. I mean, you will be looking for the graduate roles. Make sure you enroll yourself into the AECOM system. Also, the Mort McDonald as well, one of the other big company, actually the world-renowned company, they are recruiting for the graduates as well. So make sure you check their websites and start uploading your profile there. I mean, for the graduate roles, even if you haven't completed your studies, this is the right opportunity. Actually, this is the right time, I mean, to get the ball rolling actually, to get into the job market. So to apply actually, obviously when you come here for the studies, it's quite a different, yeah, sort of world you are in. And generally the question comes, where to start, what's the starting point, how we can start applying for the jobs. So the first and for most important, yeah, factor is your CV. I talk about quite a lot in my videos as well, and I generally say it's not a hard and fast rules. I mean, what needs to be there, what not to be there. Obviously, I mean, different countries have their own standards, and here in the UK as well, it's quite easy actually. When you go onto the gov.uk website, they will specifically ask for what information you need to provide in your CV. So as you fulfill those requirements, I mean, that is your CV. Obviously, it's always good, I mean, to go through with the professional as well, so that they can have a look before you upload to the your portals. I mean, that would be ideal, basically, because you don't know, yeah, the culture, how it works here. Especially, I would encourage you to use most of the keywords. I mean, for civil engineering, you should be using team building, sustainability, communication skills, and yeah, team building skills. So these are the a few sort of, yeah, the design analysis, obviously that they are the keywords. So these are the sort of keywords you should be using in your CV. And once you have tailored your CV, you have basically brush up your CV. That's where you need to upload on the portals. And the normal portal doesn't matter, I mean, where you're applying from. There will be the same, like, I mean, LinkedIn, totaljobs.com, CV library, engineers.net, and railwaypeople.com. Obviously, if you are interested in railway sort of sector. So these are the portals. Once you uploaded your CV on all these portals, you have just to wait, basically, or you can go there, apply for your specific roles there. I'm sure, I mean, when you look, I mean, if you're fresh from the university or you are starting your career, you should be looking for the graduate roles. I mean, that are the ones for the freshers. So that's how you start applying for the jobs, through these portals. And you get, actually, after applying, and obviously if you're fulfilling the requirements of the role there, what will happen is you will receive a call, the interim call from the agencies. Obviously there are third parties there involved as well, the recruitment agencies. So the good part actually here, when you upload to the job portals, when you upload your profile to the job portals, you don't have necessarily go through the individual sort of recruitment agencies, because all the agencies here, they are active on all these job portals. So whoever, yeah, basically advertising their job on these job portals, they will pick up the call and give you a call basically to have an initial discussion what you can offer to the employer. Basically you are fulfilling the bills. I mean, that's what is the initial call is all about. And if you can fulfill that, and the next stage would be they would arrange you the interview, and you go through the interview stage, and which will be either one stage interview, two stage interviews. I mean, depends on the companies. Generally, I say actually personally myself, I always had only one interview actually whenever I applied for the jobs, and might be the reason for most of the cases, but there might be two stage interviews as well, like HR initial, yeah, sort of stages as well. But this is how it goes, and actually whatever your performance is within the interview, that dictates your future basically, whether you're going to get the job or not. I mean, simple as that sort of the process. But in terms of when you can start the application, I always say, yeah, the sooner the better. But before we get in more details, let's take this call. Good morning, brother. You're live with JK. Can I take your name on your questions as well?
Audible?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Brother, can
So how are
I
you?
take your name and your questions? I'm very well, thank you, brother.
My name is Famaz, and I'm studying structural engineering at Coventry University.
Structure engineering, Coventry. Wow, you're already here. So what's the question? How is it going? I mean, university. Is it online, or is it face to face already started? Yeah.
Yes, I'm from the January intake, January 2021 intake.
All
So
right.
I am from January 2021 intake.
Okay, so you already gone through the first semester then.
I've gone through the first 2 semesters.
Good, good.
My third semester is going to commence in few days.
Okay, good
So
to know. Good to know. What's the question, brother? How can I help you?
the question was that how to improve our CV, how to make our CV more catchy, more noticeable.
Right. Okay. Any other question, brother?
For the time being, it is just this one question.
Okay. Okay. I'll explain you a bit more tips basically about the CV. Yeah. And stay tuned in. Okay. I'll respond to that question. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, brother. You were the first caller. So about the CV, actually, I was talking about the CV, what needs to include in the CV. First thing foremost, as I said, I mean, you need to ensure you understand the format. Well, it's not a format; it's the requirement of the CV in the UK. And if you go onto the gov.uk website, that can dictate you basically what information needs to go into your CV. So that's the first point of call, I should say. Go to the gov.uk website and look at the requirements and what needs to be included in your CV. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need your date of birth, your photo doesn't need to go there. I'm sure, yeah, if you go to the details there. In terms for civil engineering, and obviously relevant sort of, yeah, disciplines, I generally say the keywords. I mean, keywords is really important. Generally, the recruitment agencies, they receive, yeah, lots of CVs there, and they do the similar sort of, yeah, control F sort of finding the keywords there. And as long you're using the right keywords in your CV, that's where, yeah, you will be targeted actually through the search, the job search sort of, yeah, portals there. Obviously the keywords for civil engineers, I would say the design, analysis, communication, team building, team leader sort of, yeah, qualities. I mean, these are the keywords. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, if you're studying, yeah, civil engineering, you can find out the more keywords you can add into this your CV, the better actually it will be easy for whenever, yeah, the recruitment agency, they do a search. As long you have used those keywords, you will be actually top up to the surface. And that's generally, I say, the keywords is really, really important. We will continue with that, but before that, let's take this call. Hello, brother. You are live with JK. Can I take your name and your questions, please.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, brother. Yeah, you are live. Can I take your name and your questions, please?
Hi. Hi, good evening. I'm Shiva from India.
Hi, Shiva. How
Hello.
can I help you? Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, of course. Yeah, you're live.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm having a 13 years of experience in the construction industry. Yeah, actually, I'm trying to get a job in London. Uh, Is there any mandatory requirement of SMSTS and that first aid courses? Is it mandatory for getting a job in London, or is it not necessary? Because I'm not having any clarity about it.
Right. Okay. Any other question, brother?
No, brother. This is the one question.
Okay. Okay. I'll answer your question. Yeah. Stay tuned in there. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for the call,
Yeah.
brother. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Cheers.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shiva. Yeah, I'll answer your question. But before that, yeah, Famaz, call about the CV. So for the CV, brother, all you need is the keywords. That's really, really important. As long the more keywords you use, the more sort of you will be actually visible to the recruitment agencies. I would, well, I would share actually, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, just look at my CV and actually what I have added actually there. That will give you a bit of a flavor. I won't say yeah, my CV is the best, but I would say that will give you a bit of a flavor, basically what to include. Obviously, I got like lots of experience, so don't take yeah like, I mean, you need to make 3-4 pages your CV. It doesn't necessarily, as long you highlighted your strength. Obviously, it depends when you apply for the jobs. Like, I mean, if you are going for the civil engineering, you don't need to include something like IT, sort of, yeah, so something that's not relevant. Like, I mean, you're good at coding and that kind of things. It doesn't add values to your CV. So as long you highlight the stuff, I mean, that can be helpful for the job, for the relevant job. That is really key, actually. That needs to be there. It doesn't restrict you whether you need to have 1 page, 2 page, or I would say it shouldn't go more than 2 or 3 page maximum, actually, for the starter. I would say a couple of pages should be good enough for the initial, for the graduate sort of role. Obviously, whatever you have the experience, even if you're doing your final year projects, make sure you highlight them. I mean, without any experience, this is the only experience you're going through, so make sure you highlight them as well. That is quite helpful for the recruitment agency and for the employer as well. What have you already gone through, actually, what experience you already have. So these are the kind of, yeah, stuff you can include in your CV without experience. Obviously, with experience, you can add whatever you have done. Basically, that will be useful for the recruitment, for the employer, actually, to know what you have done and what your key responsibilities in each role that was. I mean, if you already got experience, make sure you add your value to the company, what you added to the company, rather than yeah a generic statement. Yeah, this was actually, the project was completed and it was a top quality sort of project, so it doesn't add value. You need to add, you improve the system, say by, yeah, you improve the commercial or the financial statement by 5%, 10%. You recruited or you added, yeah, the value to the project. I mean, that's what you need to include. So I'm sure if you look at my CV, just to give you a hint, basically, what needs to be there. I won't say don't copy that, because it's non-relevant. Actually, my experience is mostly railway related, so there may be terms which you won't get it, actually, if you're not related to railway. But otherwise, the keyword should be there. As long you have the keywords, the right sort of format, and the content, actually, as per these UK requirements, I'm sure, yeah, that's all you need, actually, to brush up your CV. The next question was from Shiva. He got 13 years construction industry experience, and he's asking about SMSTS and CSCS, sort of, yeah. Brother, in the construction industry, yeah, definitely that is a requirement. Obviously, if you are related to the construction sort of field, and with 13 years experience, obviously the employer would be expecting you to have all these certification in place. So if you can achieve them, or if you can attain them from wherever you are, from India, that would be really added to your actually your CV. For yourself, obviously SMSTS, I mean that would be quite important for you, because you are the manager sort of role. Actually 13 years experience, you will be managing the site, so that would be really good for yourself if you can attend them. I would say, yeah, more than yeah, I would say, yeah, all the recruitment, actually the employer, the contractor, they would expect you to have SMSTS or CSCS the least, I would say, because you are relating to construction. And obviously with 13 years experience, you won't change. Yeah, that obviously if you're going into the design side, you won't need that SMSTS, but obviously if you're going into the construction, the contractor sort of side, definitely there will be a requirement. So make sure, I'm sure you can attend it from anywhere in the world. I'm sure you can check the you can Google them, and if you can attend them, definitely that's gonna increase and enhance your chances to be recruited in the UK. I hope this helps. So let's crack on with a few questions here in the chat as well. So brothers, do call me on that number. So as said, you will get prioritized actually if you get a call. So the first question is from Asim Khan. Sir, can you please explain drawings according to UK construction? I don't know how I can explain, just because it's more like I can show you, visualize, but unfortunately I can't show you. But in terms of the drawings, let me explain the design process, actually how it works, actually how we evolve the drawings actually. So there will be different sort of stages in the design. So the first stage will be the initial design stage, I mean like an optioneering stage we call it, and in railway term we call it the grip 3, sort of, yeah, the grip sort of stage, grip 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like all these grip sort of stages. So in grip 3 that will be optioneering stage. So you will develop the very sketchy sort of, yeah, sketches sort of, yeah, type of drawings, and there will be different options. For instance, I mean, if you're building a new bridge somewhere, so what are the different options for that bridge, whether that will be a straightforward, basically simply supported, whether that will be cable stayed bridge, or there'll be continuous bridge. So these are the different options. So that's where the grip 3, and it will be generally sketches there. That sketch, once we have actually agreed on the better sort of option with the client, and that will be called the actually that will go into the next stage, which is called the AIP stage, approval in principle. That will be developed further, and further details will be added about the sizes of the members, basically, yeah, the what materials that's going to be used, and all the specification will be added. That is the AIP stage. Further than that, the next stage will be the detailed design, and that's where all the sort of, yeah, the specification, the reinforcement details, the construction methodology, how that can be built on site, that's developed further. That's the grip 5 stage, the detailed design stage. So you develop, actually the drawing starts really from the grip 3, and it goes from the different sort of stages, and finally basically at the grip 5 detailed design stage, once everyone agree to the details, that goes for approved for construction, AFC we call it, approved for construction, and that is the final drawing that go to the contractor, that where they can build it. So this is the generally stages, basically how the drawings evolve from really sketches up to the final construction stage. That's how it works. I hope this helps, brother. The next question is from Sheikh Elias. Hello sir, how are you? I'm doing well. I have 3.5 years experience in civil engineering field with only residential and commercial building. Can I find the job there? And he further goes on how to start a good career in this. I'm coming for MSc Construction Project Management in Liverpool, Jomo University, which is the best place I can get job. Can we have any consultancy there? I'll be very helpful for me. Oh, lots of question, brother. Right. So I'm very well, thank you very much. So you got experience in actually residential commercial buildings, obviously. So that by looks of it, so you got the structural engineering sort of, yeah, experience by looks of it. You didn't mention whether that's on the construction or that's on the design, but presuming, yeah, if you go the commercial, residential, but you're going into the construction project management. So presuming you go the construction sort of, yeah, field there. So I'm a bit confused with there. like you choosing construction project management and you go 3.5 years experience. So presuming you have the 3.5 year experience in the construction rather than the design, because that will be more relevant. You can utilize that experience after completion of your studies, because that more relevant. Construction project management, because that will be more relevant to the contractor, where you can utilize if you have already got the experience, the construction experience in the commercial residential building, you can utilize that experience here for your benefit as well. So generally I say, I mean, if you got experience already in one of the field, make sure you choose the course that you can utilize actually your experience here, because there is a difference. I mean, if you got experience in the construction industry somewhere else and you come here and do something like a design sort of course, like structural engineering course, which is not relevant to construction, obviously there is a bit of a overlap there, but obviously if you're doing structural engineering, that means you are relevant to the design, not to the construction. So you're losing that sort of experience. Actually, that's what I said. If you have the experience, make sure, obviously if that is your interest, you want to enhance in the same field, actually go in your future, make sure you choose a course that is relevant to your experience there, and you can utilize those experience for your benefit here. And of course with 3.5 years experience, you don't need to essentially start from graduate here as well. After completion of studies, you can go straight to the next stage, like I mean engineer level, and that's where I say it's really beneficial for yourself to choose your future. But before that, let's just take this call. Hello brother, you are live with JK. Can I take your name and your question, please?
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, Anuj.
Anuj, I was waiting for your call. How are you?
Sir, actually, I'm doing my lunch. That's why then I got to know your notification and join it.
Great. Yeah, thank you very much, Anuj. How can I help you today?
Sir, actually, I have some silly doubts today. My first question, sir, large companies like AECOM and all, and they have long process. That's why they start 1 year prior their graduate route. But companies which have sponsored license, but not that much of large company, when they will start their graduate route, sir? And if they start early, whether wait for our studies to be completed or not.
Okay.
And sir, one more question is that, sir, how will we know that the large companies start their graduate job search? Whether we have to check their websites constantly, or we can get notification in LinkedIn and all.
Okay, good question. Yeah. Any other question, brother?
No, sir. Is it good question or silly question?
No, absolutely. That's a brilliant question. Actually, that's where your future dictates by these questions. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for raising this question. Stay tuned in, Anuj. I'll answer this question. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Have
Bye.
a nice day.
You too. Thank you, Anuj. As always, yeah, I'll answer your questions, but I was talking about, let's finish Sheikh Elias questions there. So I was talking about, you make sure whatever experience you have back home, you choose the course that is relevant to your experience, because you can utilize your experience for your benefit when you come here. So I said with 3.5 years experience, you don't necessarily need to start from graduate here. After completion of studies, you can go straight to the next stage, like engineer level. That's where it really benefits yourself. But for instance, if you lose that experience, for instance, I mean, whatever 4 or 5 years experience you have back home, and you do a course which is not relevant to your experience, and you start from scratch, in that case you have to start from the graduate. That's how it works actually here in the UK. So you can utilize your experience for your benefit. I mean, if you are conscious about what you're going in your future. So I'm not sure if I'm answering your question there, brother. Which is the best place I can get a job? Consultancy there, brother. In terms of the jobs, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're studying in Liverpool, so you will stay there for the rest of your life. I mean, obviously, wherever the job arises, you have to go. You have to follow that. I mean, that is the general case here, because you're going to be renting wherever you're studying there. So after completion of study, doesn't matter why you would stay there. Obviously, if you're finding a job somewhere else, like in London or even in Scotland, you can just on board on the train and go there in a couple of hours. Basically, that's how it works. So don't restrict yourself to a specific sort of city, or wherever you live. Don't look at only that's a patch. You need to widen your horizon. I mean, look at throughout the UK. And it's always good actually to travel from one to the other sort of end of the of England, UK. Personally, I moved different cities actually in my career as well. I started my career in York, actually Yorkshire. I moved to Manchester. From there, I moved to Birmingham. Currently, I'm in Swindon, so in London. So I moved actually because of the job. Actually, you tend to see different parts of the UK as well. So that's another opportunity for yourself to see the different parts of the UK. So don't restrict yourself basically to one specific wherever your university is, because after completion of your study, you don't need to stay there. Obviously, you are there just for your completion of course. As long you complete your course, forget about Liverpool. Just jump out of that. Go to London, Scotland, wherever the opportunity is, and grab your opportunity. I hope this helps. So before we get into more questions there, so there was a call from Anuj, and he asked a really good question about the like the big companies I mentioned actually earlier. They tend to start actually the graduate scheme quite early, like Acom, Mott McDonald, Atkins, and they go through a really a lengthy sort of process actually when you engage with themselves. And he asked when to apply for the small companies, where actually whether they got a shortened sort of length there. I would say the earlier, Anuj, the earlier you start, the better, because you would understand actually what are the different companies there are in the UK as well. So obviously, when you come from overseas here to the UK, you don't know about the range and the different companies. I mean, they are available here, they operate in the UK. So obviously, the early you start, the more you would know about the different companies. They are big companies when they're going to start, they are small companies they when they're going to start. But in general terms, the big companies, obviously, they need more spend. The smaller companies that will lead basically really small sort of program there. I would say if the big companies, they take 6 months, the small companies would take 3 months. But don't restrict yourself to 3 months, like, I mean, oh, I'm not going to for the big companies, I will stay 3 months here before completion. Don't do that. I mean, start earlier the better, I always say. I mean, you need to understand the culture. And generally, I would say if you're starting as a graduate, it's always good to go for the big companies, because there's it's easy actually to get basically on your next stage. I mean, that is your PR actually, to get the skilled worker visa, because with most of the smaller companies, they might not have the sponsorship there. That's another sort of hurdle for yourselves as well. So make sure you target the big companies. I mean, because it's quite easy for them, I mean, to arrange for you for the skilled worker visa. You don't have to ask. I mean, they already know the process. With the smaller companies, you have to ask and negotiate all these processes basically, whether they can provide you or not. But obviously, with the big companies, is a no doubt actually, if you can fulfill the requirements, you will be there. Actually, you will get the sponsorship there as well. So I would say target the big companies rather than the small. But I won't tell you that restrict yourself only to the big companies. Apply throughout actually throughout the on course there. I don't want to restrict you, but obviously concentrate more on the big companies, because they're worth at least at the start of your career. In terms of the next question was whether you're going to get a notification when these sort of opportunity come around. Obviously, I mean, if you are on the LinkedIn and you follow these companies, the big companies, whenever they post actually their sort of program, their jobs, you will get a notification. Like I as well actually, because I follow AECOM and the big companies there, so I do get a notification whenever they post something. Also on their website as well, you can opt for basically for new recruitment, for new jobs availability on their website as well. You can register yourself on the big companies there. Apart from that, even on the job portals as well actually, so you can opt for basically receiving these notification on a daily, weekly, or bi-weekly sort of process as well, actually, so you can turn on those notification. I generally get all those notification in my email, actually, so every sort of in fact, yeah, every day I get a notification about from different these portals, like CV Library, like Total Jobs, and yeah, I get jobs actually on a daily basis, railwaypeople.com, because I turn the notification on. Although I'm not looking for actively for the jobs, but obviously it's always good to be in the process there to understand actually what the market looks like, actually, whether they are looking for, and how the market works. But obviously, I don't need to, but you can turn on your notification on all these job portals, on the LinkedIn, on the sort of the big websites as well, and that will give you a notification. You don't need to check again and again. I'm sure, yeah, if you follow them, you will get a notification there. I hope this helps. The next question is from Prince BLVCK. Sir, is Harriet University a good one for civil? Are there jobs opportunity in Scotland? I was thinking of applying there. In terms of university, brother, yeah, Harriet Wood is a good university. I generally say all the universities are good, brother, as long they provide you whatever you wish for, whatever you're coming for. Actually, as long they fulfill those modules, those courses, they are good for your future. So in terms of opportunities, as said, I mean, it's you don't need to restrict yourself to basically Scotland only. Obviously, Scotland, like obviously Edinburgh University, which is in Edinburgh, Harriet Wood. You have the Glasgow, the big city there. There are a few more sort of Aberdeen, and yes, a few more big cities there. But obviously, don't restrict yourself to Scotland only. You can come to the England as well, yeah, to the England side. So you need to search basically across the board. Don't restrict yourself to Scotland. Even if you can't find in Scotland, you need to stretch around actually to England. The least I would say London. I'm sure you can find the job there, and it's not hard actually to move from one part to the other part of the UK. The next question is from Sasindu. Can you explain the job demand for quantity surveying? Is it possible to get a sponsor job after finishing masters in the quantity surveying? Thank you in advance. Brother, specific to quantity surveying, obviously, I mean, it is a part of the civil engineering sort of family, so it is in demand for sure. Yeah, so I must add that it is in demand. Um, in terms of the sponsorship, as I said, I mean, target the big companies like, I mean, AECOM, Atkins, Mott McDonald, Amy. These are the big player, WSP, Arcadis, or there's a big list actually. If you target those big companies, you don't have to ask actually about the sponsor, as long you fulfill your requirement, and actually their requirement, you can provide them whatever they're looking for as a graduate. And generally they ask for really sort of initial motivation of your future. I mean, that's all they want for the graduate. As you fulfill those requirements, I'm sure it's easy. In fact, yeah, they got no other alternative. If you can fulfill their requirement, they have to have provide you the sponsorship there, so there's no alternative. The next question is from Satish. Which university is best for construction management with industrial placement in the UK? Brother, I don't know which one is the best. It depends on what you are looking for, because the universities, or majority of the universities, I mean, they would have the same title, construction project management. But obviously, when you look at in detail about the modules, they will be completely different. So it depends what you are looking. So whether you're going completely into the management side, or whether you want to split between technical and management side. So it depends, yeah, what your requirements are, and you choose based on the modules what they provide. Which one is the best? Obviously, whatever is your choice, whatever is your favorite subjects, if they can fulfill those requirements, that is the best university. Next question is from Sayed Wakaruddin. I have 8 years of construction management experience, done Bachelor of Civil Engineering, get assessment done from ECCTIS. Brother, I don't know what that means, ECCTIS. What should I do to get tier 2 visa? Brother, good question. 8 years experience, construction management experience, done bachelor in civil. Yeah, I mean, 8 years experience, I would imagine, I mean, you should be able to get into the tier two sort of, yeah, side, or the skilled worker visa sort of, yes, aside. It depends, I mean, like, if you look at the like construction project management experience, so that means you will be looking for the like contractor sort of role, like construction project management or construction engineer or technical engineer. These are the sort of roles you should be targeting at. Obviously, if you look at these website I mentioned earlier, actually, if you search for these type of roles, construction management, construction manager, or site engineers, or maybe the technical engineers, I mean, these are the type of the title you should be looking at. As long, I mean, you look at those requirements, as long you fulfill those requirements. Obviously, there might be specific, like they might be asking for SMSTS or CSCS, which is not a huge hurdle there. I mean, I'm sure if you going through that ECCTIS, I'm sure the getting the CSCS or SMSTS is quite easy to achieve as well, if that is their requirement. But as long, I mean, you can fulfill the rest of the requirements, you can start actually applying exactly the same way as you would do basically if you are in the UK. All these job portals, they are available throughout the world, so you can apply. As said, I mean, CV plays a really vital role. As long you highlight your skills there, your key keywords there, your skills keywords there, and you will be highlighted to the surface. That's how you apply, brother. I can't see the alternative of basically applying from overseas. So as long you fulfill the requirements of the recruitment, the employer basically look at the job description, what they are looking for. As long you tick those boxes, so go for it. I mean, but there is no hard feeling actually not to apply for those ones. Next question is from Athul Krishnan. Sir, colleges and courses related sustainable construction and its scope. Colleges and courses related to sustainable construction and its scope in the UK. Sustainable construction, brother, that's quite restricted. I'm not sure if you're gonna go really. I mean, maybe you go environmental engineering. That's where you can go into the sustainable, specific to sustainable. I'm not sure if I've seen anything like only specific to, yeah, sustainable construction, sustainable MSc in sustainability. I'm not sure. You would learn actually about any sort of, yeah, civil engineering related degree. You will be taught one of the module about sustainability there, for sure. But specific to sustainable, I haven't actually. I might be wrong, but actually I haven't come across actually specific to sustainability. But for sure, if that is your future, if that's what you're looking for, I would say look at the generic MSc in civil engineering, and I'm sure I said, I mean, there will be the modules there for sustainability, and after completion of your MSc, you can go straight into the sustainability sort of side. You can look for those sort of environmental jobs as well. So that's the options there. The next question is from Ahmed Afsal. I messaged to your WhatsApp but not replied. Okay, my apologies. If you are just for your information, if you're messaging me on personal sort of, yeah, I generally respond to the groups. Actually, I got the WhatsApp groups. I mean, if you get a message in the group, so I will respond only to that, not on my personal number, actually, WhatsApp. So this is your opportunity, guys. I mean, if you want to ask any question, this is the 1 hour session I generally run. So you can ask the questions here rather than sending me personal messages. So I don't get a chance actually to respond to the individuals. So let's get back to the question. Is Oxford Brookes University is good for construction management? So just same question, brothers. This university is good or that university is good. I would just repeat the same answer actually. Look at the modules or what the course, I mean, the content that they're providing. As long you are happy with the course content, I mean, that is a good university. In terms of, yeah, whether they're high rank, low rank, I don't consider that's an sort of any sort of relevancy there. It doesn't matter if it's a high rank or low rank, as long they fulfill your bill, basically whatever you're looking for in the future. As long as they fulfill your bill, that's it. I mean, just go for that. It doesn't matter whether it's a high rank or low rank. So I consider ignore actually that factor at all, I would say. The next question is from Prince BLVC. Thank you very much, sir. I have one more question. Okay, Harriet, what's London South Bank University versus ARU Company 3? Which one is good for master? I'm trying to coming January. Brother, the same question is repeated again and again. So as said, look at the what they provide. I mean, obviously, whatever your course choosing, you're choosing. So look at the requirements. Actually, is that fulfilling what you're looking for in your future? As long they provide you, yeah, those course contents, that is the best university. Just go for that. I don't consider anything else. It's just look at the modules of what they provide. I would say personally, actually I did my MSc from Salford University, which is really not in a rank at all. Basically, it's a low rank university. I did MSc Instruction Engineering from there, and the only sole reason actually I went for Salford University, when I look at, obviously I was interested in instruction engineering. When I look at the modules, actually they were providing completely 100% the technical side, which was my interest actually. So different materials like bridge engineering, there was steel engineering, steel design and concrete design, timber design, masonry design. These were the sort of modules actually I was taught actually in the course. That's where I was interested in that course. And I completely ignore, because of none of the fact I had the admission in Harriet Watt as well. There was another university in Scotland. I had admission from there, from Manchester University. So I had quite a number of universities in my list actually. But when I compare all those universities, the modules actually, not the universities, the module, when I compare them, I thought, yeah, actually Salford is the one actually that provide me the course, which what I'm interested in. So I went for Salford University, although I knew actually Manchester University was quite high ranked, and actually I ignore that. Doesn't matter, as long, I mean, you look at the modules, I mean the course content they're providing you, that is the best university. The next question is from okay brother, how to join in your group? Right, I generally add the group links into the in my videos. So in the description basically you can just join in there, brother. So I generally add the link into the description of my videos, so you can go there and click the link and join them in it. The next question is from construction project management. I don't know. Okay, construction project management, brother, is the same answer. The next question is from Bharat Bandari. Sir, I'm site engineer in India and building construction from 5 years. How to work in the UK? Brother, how to work in the UK? There are certain sort of requirements. You need to have your CV ready, a relevant CV. You need to apply for the jobs in the UK, and as long you fulfill the requirements of the employer, that's where you will be arranged actually the interview. You go through the interview process, and that's where you get work into the UK, as long you fulfill the bill of the employer. That's how it works. Next question is from Vijay Kumar. Best university for civil engineering for study MSc. Another classic question, Vijay. Best university, I don't know the best university. Obviously Southampton, if I'm looking at all the rankings, Southampton is one of the best actually for civil engineering. But obviously, as said earlier, I mean, I'll give you example of how I chosen Salford University for myself, because I've compared the modules for different universities, and you look at what you are interested in. As long, I mean, one of the university doesn't necessarily needs to be the top rank, but as long, I mean, they provide you the course content of what you're interested in, that's what you should go for, rather than looking for the ranking. Ranking doesn't matter, brothers. Ranking doesn't matter at all. In fact, when it comes to finding the job, in fact, in neither in the interview, post interview, no one would ask you about where you did your masters from, what university you did your masters from. So that's completely irrelevant question there. So that's why I said ignore the ranking. The next question is from Atul. please explain the demand for energy and sustainability energy design engineer. Brother, very, very in demand sort of, yeah, subject there, energy and sustainability. So we have actually in the UK, if you don't know, there is a net carbon zero sort of, yeah, strategy for 2050. I mean, net zero. So all the UK, that the strategy is for for the 2050, everything needs to go to net zero carbon, so neutral sort of phases. And this is more actually push from the government side as well. So there is more demand in the sustainability and also basically the energy sector, how we can transition from the traditional, traditional to the more sort of net zero carbon sort of, yeah, side. So this is a very, very in demand subject there. Shravan Cole, hello sir. One of my seniors did his master from India. After 7 years of experience, he decided to master in the UK. He got admitted to University of Leeds for transport planning. He was saying that for job, they only prefer people from their own country, and he then left the country unemployed. His experience was not good. Maybe Shravan, I don't know when he did his masters from. Obviously, there was a time period when we didn't have the PSW, like a post study work visa or skilled worker visa wasn't there. Obviously, just before, yeah, we started now in last year, sort of July, actually a couple of months ago. Obviously, the post study work visa give the opportunity for yourselves as a degree holder to stay here and look for the jobs. Obviously, they might have a time before that where they had no opportunity at all. So after completion of your studies, you would have no choice basically to go back. Obviously, within a month or so, if you couldn't find a job here in the UK, so you would go back to home. I mean, that might be the case for you with your friend. I'm not sure, yeah, the whole story. But obviously, I said it takes time actually to settle in, and that's where I started my this video as well. Actually, you need to start the process quite early on. I would say at least 6 months. Yeah, I've already said that. So you need to understand how the process, how the system works here. As long you understand within the 6 months, that would be good enough for yourself to understand how to apply, what are the different demands, what area you should target it on, how to apply, how to go about your interview sort of stage. Obviously, if you attend a few interviews as well during studies time, that will improve your sort of, yeah, ability. Well, after completion, I'm sure you would have the experience there. And that's where I said you need to start quite early in your job searching. You need to be really active. You don't need to put yourself basically on the back step there, or I have to complete my degree and then I will look, yeah, after that. Shouldn't be the case. Obviously, PSW is a good opportunity. Obviously, you have to stay for 2 years after completion of studies, but it doesn't stop you there. I mean, you would say, okay, I will complete my degree and then we go PSW. I need to search within the PSW. No, I won't advise that. Start searching as soon as possible. That give you, before you get to the PSW, you should have the opportunity, and that is another advantage. I mean, if you get the job before you get to the PSW stage, you can completely ignore the PSW. You can go straight on the skilled worker visa, and in fact, that's where your PR starts as well. So PSW doesn't count in the PR. So keep that in mind as well. So once you get the skilled worker visa, that's where your PR starts from there on as well. So you have to stay for 5 years on the skilled worker visa to get the PR. So that's where it's really important to plan your journey from way ahead. Actually, it's no, you shouldn't let it to the last minute. Actually, I'm not sure, Shravan. I mean, the case, obviously, I mean, your friend there. What exactly happened there? But obviously, there might be the cases that you don't have enough sort of time actually to apply before your visa expires. So you last minute there. So that would be my suggestion. I always say, yeah, apply as early as possible just to know the system. So with that note, Shravan, you were the last sort of, yeah, caller questions there. So thank you very much, and really appreciation here on this platform. So I generally run this for 1 hour. And I said, I mean, if you can, you can ask any question on the WhatsApp group as well, also on my YouTube channel, on the videos as well. I do tend to reply quite quickly on my YouTube channel as well, actually, if you ask any questions there as well. But personally, when you send me the messages on WhatsApp, yeah, personal, I can't manage that because it's too many personal messages, and I can't manage that way. So it's either on the YouTube sort of videos, or it's on the WhatsApp groups, actually. If you can, if you got any question, you can ask there. And with that note, I hope you had a lovely weekend with your family and friends, and I hope to see you in the next week live session. Thank you very much, guys.